Hello, good day, and welcome to the program, The Big Agenda. I am Lisa Emelite, and on today's segment, I will be having with me a very distinguished personality in the person of distinguished Senator Matthew Urhoghide, representing the South Senatorial District, Edo State, and the chairman of Public Accounts. Distinguished sir, welcome to the program, and for the sake of our viewers, kindly introduce yourself to us.
Well, I'm Senator Matthew Urhoghide. I represent the good people of Edo South Senatorial District in Edo State. And just like you mentioned, I'm Chairman of the Committee on Public Accounts.
Well, distinguished, first of all, sir, let's talk about the impeachment saga. We have less than 6 weeks to 6 months to February 25 to 2023 presidential election. Your group, the minority in the National Assembly, gave 6 to 8 weeks ultimatum to Mr. President to end the insecurity challenge or face impeachment. Why is this coming up now, sir?
First and foremost, let me do some corrections. It is not the minority party or parties in the National Assembly that are calling that if the insecurity in the country is not tackled by Mr. President, being the Commander-in-Chief, that we will serve him impeachment notice. Impeachment notice. It's not to say that he will be impeached. He will serve impeachment notice. All right? And that has to do with Section 143 of our Constitution. In that section, there are 11 subsections. So if you serve him notice, meaning you are going to start from one stage to the other. And I want to say there is no time that is too late or too early when it concerns having to take very drastic actions when it comes to misconduct. And misconduct emanating from violation of the provisions of our 1999 Constitution as amended. No time is too early, no time is too late. So you cannot say you are having elections next year, and of course the person with child responsibility or the government with child responsibility of ensuring the security of lives and property of the people, you see, you kill all of them because it's too late in the day for you to go and have election next year, February. If all the citizens are killed, who will vote at those elections? So there's no time that is too early, no time that is too late. This matter of insecurity in Nigeria has been on for a while. It is not of, and it has been of very grave concern, not to the people or to the senators or members of the National Assembly that are in PDP. It has equally been of great concern to members of the National Assembly that are in the APC, all right, that has the federal government, that is the government at the center. Every Nigerian that is really concerned, sincerely concerned about the welfare of our citizens, know it too that it has not been well with our people when it comes to the issue of security. And as National Assembly, we have gone across these same, these boundaries, these party lines of this one being opposition, of this one being PDP. We have cooperated together in National Assembly to provide everything needed to fight insecurity in terms of funding. The National Assembly holds the purse. The National Assembly is the one that administers the resources and the purpose for which the resources are to be used. We have given more than anything that the President has asked for to meet up with the challenges to be able to confront insecurity head-on in this country. We have done so. Why is this still a problem that is getting worsened by the day? And that, if you, who would we ask? It's the President. The President has to whether reinvigorate or rejuvenate the security in the country, or the security architecture, as you want to call it, in the country, to ensure that there is security of lives and property of the citizens of Nigeria. Mind you, it's not because it's getting to Abuja now. It's getting to Abuja because it's getting worsened by the day. And we have been talking about it. From the 8th Assembly, we talked about it in the 8th Senate. We talked about it in the 9th Senate. And we are still talking about it. Something that started as a little flood, just barely touching the sole of your feet. Now they are getting close to your neck. And people are saying, why should you talk? Why would you talk? The constitution that we have all sworn to, those provisions there, they are clear that we must uphold it, irrespective of who. I'm not Nigerian. That is the president. I don't think anyone assumes that he's bigger than this country. The president is president. I'm a senator. The same constitution I swore to uphold with all the provisions, the same constitution the president swore to uphold with all the provisions. And if you go and check section 14.2d, the major, the responsibility of any government, or the primary purpose of any government, security of lives and property of the citizens. And you go and check those schedules seven schedules that we swore to. It is to say that the provisions of this constitution were going to uphold them. So if Mr. President is failing in his effort to observe to the letter section 14.2d, then it only means, and we are acquiescing to it, that what he's doing is right. We are all in default of the provisions. Therefore, we are calling his attention. And if this inaction of Mr. President is there to elicit gross misconduct on his part, then the relevant section of the Constitution, section 143, applies. If we give impeachment notice, let him know this is our position on this matter. We are averse to this action of yours or this inaction of yours. And this is what the Constitution says. So when you say you want to impeach president, you are talking like you are ignorant of the provisions of the Constitution. Serving impeachment notices to draw his attention that this is what is going on. It's a violation of the provision of the Constitution. We need explanation from you. So that is the notice. All right? It is when you finish from subsection 1 to 11, the last one is to remove him from office. So the day you serve him notice is not the day you remove him from office. There are steps to be taken. There are explanations he has to make. There are different bodies that will have to be constituted to continue or to come or intervene in the process of investigation. So, I've not reached there. So it's not that, is it not too late to be asking for? If it's one day that is left in the Senate, all right, this same thing can be done. But just like we said, since that pronouncement, which was supported majorly by the APC senators, majorly because they are in the larger number, supported by them and supported by us. It's not every PDP senator too that is supporting that the president should be serving impeachment notice. Get that clear. It's not every APC senator that is against what we are saying, or that is for the fact that he should not be served impeachment notice. More of APC senators and more PDP senators have indicated interest in this to say yes, giving 6 weeks to 8 weeks. In fact, it was 6 weeks from the Senate. It was the minority and other senators too, other House of Rep members, the House of Representatives that said, yes, we are adding extra 2 weeks, okay, to 6. So for us to be in tandem, is between the Senate and the House of Reps, between 6 and 8 weeks. The whole idea is not to castigate the president or cast aspersion on his personality or his capability. These are serious issues that are on ground. Serious issue of insecurity. All right? And we need to let him know that Nigerians are not happy and we represent Nigerians. And then the only way to do it, I will be culpable in my constituency. You know what has been happening. They have been killing people in my constituency. Fulani herdsmen have been killing people in my constituency. Whether they are Fulani herdsmen or not, people have been doing kidnappings in my constituency, just like any other part of the country. So if now I keep quiet, I don't say it, tell me what is happening there, I like it. I have no audacity, neither do I have the right to say I represent such people who are not happy. Nigerians are not happy. When you are seeing the captives from the train going from Abuja to Kaduna, the way they were being flogged. And yesterday I saw it on television, a professor who came out, the man, you could just see him looking like a refugee. He was still doing his medical work for the abductors and and those that were kidnapped. Was he doing his job to say fending for the what do you call it? The people who kidnapped the people, all right, and the bandits, and those that were kidnapped. I saw him on television, and I just imagined, this is our country. Too sad. So, Mr. President, please do something about it. That was me. Nobody should. You don't pretend that you love the president more than any other person. I said it before. Even if it was a PDP president that was in position, I will still join the group that will ask that we should serve impeachment notice because he's reneging on his promise to the people in the preservation of their lives and property. So, I don't think there's anything wrong. We should take it. This is what it is. This is the way this country can move forward. Let's not be dispassionate or let us show passion. This is my tribesman, this is my party man. If you are doing that, it only means you don't value the lives of all these people that are being kidnapped and are being slaughtered every day.
Now, distinguished sir, I heard you when you said that the National Assembly has given the funds needed for this insecurity challenge. So, if the fund has been approved, who do we blame? Do we blame Mr. President or do we blame the security bodies?
Who controls them? Did you hear me when I said he's the commander-in-chief? You know, it's only one man that is commander-in-chief. The man that can command all the security forces is one man, that's Mr. President. They all under him. He appointed them. If an appointee of Mr. President is not doing it, who should change them? Is it me? If I have the way I will change. We had hues and cries. The ones that were changed, that were sent out as ambassadors. We talked and talked and talked, and he replaced them. Now we are even seeing that the situation is even getting worse. Between that time and this, you say, I might not be able to get the correct figures, but we have appropriated billions of naira for them to purchase all that they need. Foreign exchange has been made available. That's what I said. Excuse me, only yesterday, security chiefs had a meeting with the leadership of the Senate. I said, we are giving you everything. Senate President, we are giving you everything. Let it be, because you didn't give us money, you didn't appropriate money to us in National Assembly. This is why we have not been able to buy this or buy that. To fight bandits and insurgency. Huh? Or to say, these insurgents that you are seeing from this part of the country, or these bandits you are seeing from this part of the country, we are not able to fight them because we don't have the right equipment with which to fight. Nothing. So banditry and insurgency that you are seeing in this country, kidnapping and all of those things that you are seeing in this country, we have been able to give the right amount of money that you need, to buy the equipment with which to fight. Again, we have equally gone ahead to tell them, get the right personnel, manpower that you need. In one of the sessions that we had from the Senate, we asked them, all the security agencies put together, where people with a country population of over 200 million people. We don't have up to 1.2 million. Army, Navy, Air Force, up to, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Put all of them together, even the people you see in correctional centers. Paramilitary and all of them, put them together up to 1.2 million. So, if we are 200 million people, we have less than 1.2 million people, how are you going to do it? We have to even question it. If the president said, look, we are going to having recruitment of 10,000 people into the Nigerian police force, how many years are you ever going to raise the people that you will need? The police that is supposed to do the internal control, all of these things that we are doing in this country today, really, if you look at it, it's the police force that is supposed to be in charge, not the military. But because they don't have the right number of personnel. Even if we recruit 50,000 policemen now, it will still not be enough. You understand what I'm saying? So we are going to deploy them from the northwest to the north central to the northeast, from the southwest to the south to the southeast. You need large number. As you are recruiting here, so that every part of the country is covered. How many people do you have, even if we are going to talk about immigration, that can take our border of hundreds of kilometers from the northwest to the northeast to make sure that there are no incursions into our land? Eh? How many? From Niger to Chad, all through to Mali, to Burkina Faso, all those ones that are bordering us. We have been hearing that people are coming in from Guinea, coming from that. Even the cows that they are bringing to the country, bringing them down, to our country. As the other northern parts are drying up, they are coming to the south. That's how they are getting to our farms for grazing in the south. All right? So they are looking for rich pastures to graze on. So if people can come into our country, do you have the right number of personnel in Nigerian immigration to ensure that those who are coming into our country are people who have been duly authorized to come into our country? No, because we don't have the personnel. And all those are borders, they are all leaking. So what I'm saying, apart from money to fight equipment, we equally need the personnel to be able to man the equipment. We need the personnel to be on ground, you're trying to fight, these evil things that we are seeing here. But who do you blame? Mr. President. So those security forces or agencies are dependent on the detection that comes from the commander-in-chief, from the president. Mind you, our constitution, 1999 has amended. Powers that you are there for about one man. That's the president. Even what we do in National Assembly by way of motion, by way of bills, that is intended laws, when we finish, they still go back to, if he doesn't sign, there are no laws. Resolutions from our motions, when they get to him, if he does not implement, it's gone. So every activity that we do is about one man. And that's the president. So the president must take full responsibility for everything that concerns misgovernance in the land. And again, if there's everything that has to do with productive governance, he takes the credit. So if it borders on misgovernance, he takes the blame. And that should not be it. If there's anyone that is not working well, he should get them off and get the right persons in place.
Now, distinguished, let's just look at the concluded primaries. What happened during the conduct of the primary election? It seems your party are in two camps, that of Obaseke and Chief Dan Obani. And it seems like you did not secure the ticket for the Senate come the next term. So can you tell us what's going on?
Well, first, let us speak the truth to all of this. What happened in the came into the party, okay, when he came in newly, we were still able to manage it, and then of course we got him re-elected. After we got him re-elected, the problem started. And the problem is the problem that our party people who worked for his success, who are supposed to be part and parcel of the PDP, particularly those of them that were there before he came, that they were left out of government, that they were not appointed to government. And his method of trying to incorporate them too, strange to them. Because what it was before, after you win, party people will sit down with the governor and everybody will start making recommendations from the different local government areas into government. And it's going to be in order of importance by way of compensation to people who participated, all right, in bringing about that government. And secondly, for those who are qualified to occupy those positions. All right, this one did not happen. And we are told that, yes, we will be able to advise the governor, properly to say, yes, before you came into this party, we had our congresses from the ward to the state. So we had our chairmen, our secretaries, women leaders, youth leaders in place in the party. So as he came in, it was not a case of, if you want the party positions, those who just came with you to party position, then you should be able to give those you met already appointments in your government, so that we'll be able to have those that are coming in, those that are going out. And that will be voluntary for those of them who already have party positions. But that was not to be. So that one created this gulf all of this time. And then it came that, yes, there was another leg to it, that before the governor came into this party, there were people who wanted to be governors too in the party. All right, we had about 3 people who wanted to be governors who were contesting, the primaries to win the governorship ticket. So when the governor came, every other person, stepped down for him to get the PDP ticket, like from the APC. Those who stepped down felt too that they were not fairly treated. You know, fairly treated, there were agreements that were reached, and that those agreements ought to be honored. And the governor said no, there was no agreement reached. Some of those agreements or those meetings held. I couldn't know. But the thing was that when they were doing negotiations, my own office was one of those items that they negotiated that will be given to somebody else. Okay? So when we started, I said, well, I was not party to that agreement. I was already senator before I came to this party. I contested. So you couldn't have negotiated my seat. That was what we insisted on. All right? So we didn't, yes, amongst the old PDP, we're divided. That's what I'm saying. Those of us who said the governor should come into the party, and those of them who said no, we're going to support our old people to get the ticket. I was one of those who supported the governor to come because it was very difficult for the PDP to win governorship after we lost it in 2008. After Oshomole came. So the PDP had been out there out of government house for 12 years. Even though we're majority, 2 senators out of 3 were from PDP. In 2015, we had 5 members House of Reps out of 9. So in 2019, 2 senators, 2 of us still returned PDP, and 4 members House of Reps came from PDP. So we already there. What we didn't have really was the governorship. And we felt that this was the right time. If the man was coming with his power, we should support. It was the easiest way to government house for the PDP. That was why I supported. But later, the story turned that I was the one who brought him, who brought the governor. That one became my sin. So those of them who were with me in the PDP now said, well, since you brought the governor and you supported him to come and take our ticket, now he has not done anything for us. They drew the line. They were against me. Of course, with the governor there, we already have it. What do? I was trying to make peace between the governor and my old PDP family. So those of us who reactivated the party, myself, Danobi, that were there, mind you, in 2011 when I came to the party, I decided I became the public secretary of the party when Danobi was chairman. We did all those sacrifices to ensure that PDP became strong in the party again. I was public secretary of the party when I got my ticket to come to the Senate. I'm going to give that credit to the PDP that I belonged, the old PDP. In 2019, we're giving right of first refusal. Once Secondus, the national chairman of the party and the executive at that time said, we knew what we went through, what the PDP went through in court here against those who were moving out of the party, the former Borno governor, all right, and of course with the party. So the National Assembly supported them. We made financial contributions for the PDP to be able to go through that case. And afterwards, they compensated by saying, look, you members of National Assembly, because of what you have done, you were given right of first refusal. So our second tenure, we had it. So I'm going back to Edo State for the last exercise. Those of them who felt that I supported Governor Obaseki to come into the party were against me. So that was what we were doing until we were going to have statutory delegates to nominate us to come back here the 3rd time. With those ones, after I've explained to them, and with my level of performance, they were ready to take it. But a week or thereabout to our primaries, when it now became obvious that we were going to use ad hoc delegates, 3 per ward, I now fell in the group of the governor. That is still what is in court today. The 3 ad hoc delegates from Danobi side, they are there. The 3 ad hoc delegates from the governor's side, they are there. I fell on the side of the governor. These are people I never knew. They are the old people who came to they are the new people who came to the PDP with the governor. So the old ones that came with Danobi's side, the 3 ad hoc delegates, all right, stood by Danobi. That's why you have Obedi Ama who is their senatorial candidate. Then, of course, the new one that came with the governor, believing that we were together, they got instruction to not to vote for me. They rather vote for somebody who is new to them. So you can see I now became a victim of standing in the middle, try to resolve both sides. All right? So they brought somebody else, Matthew Urhoghide. All right? So the only thing I see in it, where I say I have no regrets, my peace position doesn't bother me. So with both sides, they are still in court. I think they are already advancing towards Supreme Court now. So they are saying these 3 delegates from here that were chosen by the Danobi side. Nobody came from the National Secretariat to conduct their primaries, but that they were seen. The primaries were observed by INEC. The one on governor, they said, yeah, people came from the National Secretariat, but INEC did not observe. Okay, so both sides, they are violating the provisions of the Electoral Act. So that is why you are hearing that it is possible that both sides will not have candidates in the election. If one side gets it, the other side is going to be angry, and they will not support. So the party is in a quagmire in Edo.
Now, distinguished, I want to ask you.
So for me, I don't see it as a loss. I just see it as the sacrifice you have to make. I made that sacrifice.
Okay, let's look into the forthcoming 2023 presidential election. Now, the P2B movement has been gathering a lot of momentum from the south and southeast. Looking at your candidate, Atiku Abubakar, don't you think this could threaten his chances of becoming the #1 citizen of Nigeria?
I'm just a Nigerian. All right? And I want to tell you that what this thing means, there are minimum support. Minimum support. What I mean in terms of vote cast, okay, before you can be pronounced president. All right? So all the people who are involved in it now, our candidate in the PDP is a strong man. He has been a Trojan horse. He has been on this terrain for some time. All right, he knows what to do. He's very strong. All right, candidates. Peter Obi that you mentioned too was one time governor. He was in the PDP, and just few days to nomination, he left the party and went to Labour. You have different segments of Nigerians. If you look at it, the division or the dichotomy has been between the younger people and then the older people. So it is the older people and the younger people that will determine where the pendulum swings. All right? Whether it is to Obi or to Atiku. But the electioneering itself, the campaigns have not started. When the campaigns start, Nigerians are going to listen to all these people. I think it's too early to call. And we are going to see where the pendulum will. We are going to see a preponderance of support in one way than the other. Mind the APC is there. You know, you cannot just wish them away like that. All right? So, whether it's going to be a fight between Atiku and Obi, or Atiku and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we cannot really put our finger now. But for me, I even pray that we have election. It's only in an atmosphere of peace that we can have election. It's an atmosphere where you have security that will guarantee the lives of our people, that people will come out to vote. The way it is today, how many persons do you think can leave Abuja who are from Kaduna that will go back to Kaduna where they registered as voters, they go and vote? How many? How many Nigerians now can leave Lagos, Abuja, or major cities and go back to their own constituencies to go and vote? How many? So something has to give between now and February next year. If things don't change, you will not be talking about Atiku or talking about Obi. All right? And then, of course, the onus too is on the political class, the governments. The governments, federal government particularly, and the subnational governments, states and local governments. Let us go and guarantee, security for our lives. Go and guarantee the preservation of their lives before people can come out. We don't even know what these insurgents or bandits, what they have in mind. Whether all this one they are doing is to ensure that we don't have election. Because there is palpable fear all over the country. All right? So I don't really see it fight. Well, it matters of the moment. These are issues of the moment. These people are just, you read about them and all of that. You watch television, you see social media, all right? And you see the print media, their names, you keep seeing these personalities. It's just for the moment. But we pray that our situation does not degenerate so that we will not be talking about election. Let us do everything that will enhance the probability of the elections holding. But when the time comes and we have the ambience, I believe Nigerians will listen to these people. Their opinion molders, and opinion leaders that will listen to these people and advise those that are dependent on them for proper decision when it comes to making choices. To say, yes, don't vote for this, vote for this. But the future of this country, the lives of our people is more important than anything else. If you ask me, I say, yes, I'm PDP. I have all the passion for PDP to come back because it's the most mature party. All right? But we must be able to extract commitments that the life of the ordinary Nigerian will be better than what it was. Whether some of us occupy position or not. For me, I'm not ruled by whatever position. If I'm not going to be in the Senate, it doesn't bother me as long as the lives of Nigerians are okay. As long as my own life is secured. And all the people that I know, their lives are secured. Any government that can elicit that, I stand there. That's where I stand. Having to put a government in place is not a thing you do through witchcraft or belonging to a court, one court or the other. It is what is palpable, what is seeable, and what is doable for our people to live a better life.
Okay, distinguished, before we come to the end of the program, there is a controversy rising against the nation of the purchase of 10 SUVs by President Buhari to the Niger Republic. Now, looking at all we are facing, the economic crisis, the students has been home, the ASU strike, and the insecurity inclusive. What's your take or what's your view concerning this controversial issues?
When you have a myriad of problems and you decide to prioritize what ought to be the exclusive preserve of Mr. President, no matter how noble their intention is, it should now be classified as a misdeed. 1.4 billion naira. The one I've seen in the papers is what the government is proposing to use to buy cars and send to Niger. Isn't it? That's what you said. But when our Nigerians are hungry, when there is general despondency, when there is frustration in our land, even if we're going to spend 10,000 naira, people will still complain. If our people were living abundant life, who will remember? Maybe that is not the highest amount of money that Nigeria has given out as largesse to our neighbors in the past. But it is this time that we are talking about. So the majority of Nigerians, when we are hungry, you are buying cow to the tune of 1.4 billion and giving it to a neighboring country. It's like when we say we don't have enough power. We can hardly generate 4,000 megawatts of electricity. We are saying no, we are giving to Burkina Faso. We are giving to Mali when we are in darkness. So such generosity, we want to see within the context of time. The only thing I will see as a lawmaker is, well, was it appropriated? Was it in our budget? It was not. It's gross misconduct. We have spent money again that was not appropriated by the National Assembly. All right? It's for us to check. Even the budget of 2022, that expenditure was captured, a line item in the budget. All right? That you use this money to buy this and give to the Niger Republic. If it was not there, this is time to ask the questions. Why would the president? Why should the president? Why now? Who authorized? Okay? To say, was it in the budget? If it was not in the budget, that's wrong. If it was in the budget, yes. Was it decision to make? Yes. All right? So we are not really thinking of how auspicious it is now. The old times are difficult here and all of that. Because at least I know they have some joint ventures, it concerns security, sharing security, intelligence together and all of that. To say this is why we did it. The president could be right. Because that's what we need. To be able to do our bidding and to assist us in continuing, want to find out. So the president may have acted well. But the only thing, like I said, as a lawmaker, was it in the budget? Yes. So the reason for it, they may have advanced when it came to budget defense at that time. What are you doing with this? Oh, do you want to do this? All right. Maybe it is for cross-border patrol between us and the Niger Republic and all of that. So I cannot just see it now and say what the president did is wrong. If it was in the budget, it becomes legitimate. If it was not, it becomes extra budgetary spending, which of course he must explain.
Okay, sir. What you're saying in essence is that the National Assembly aware or not aware of the 1.4 billion naira?
I'm not aware that it was in the budget of 2022. I'm not aware. And I think we have completely closed the budget of 2021 now. All right? So there's no question of if it's in the budget. I'm not aware of the budget of 2022. But if I'm corrected that it is there, and they probably tell me under where, maybe under State House, under Presidency, under this, under that. Let us see where it was captured. Whether it's the SGF's budget, or military budget, or any budget, why it was captured. Why not? It's a budget, it's a line item. It was captured in the appropriation. And then, of course, it's just exercising it now. All right? It's just doing the procurement. So, why not? If you're doing the procurement now, we have to see whether the procurement act is adhered to strictly. Once that one is done, it becomes legitimate, it can be charged, against public funds.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure.
And at this point, we come to the end of the program. Don't forget to follow us on all our social